guys. Give me some time.
Someone should mute. Someone should mute. There's a lot of disturbance.
Mm, can you able to hear me right now?
Muted.
Hello. Is my voice audible now, guys? Or still that exists? The disturbance
Yes,
and all that stuff.
I can hear you.
Yeah, it's audible.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Mm, still some noise exists. Mm-hmm. Okay. 1 second. Guys, is the problem still exist for you? There is some background noise. Okay, guys, fine. We'll just start the class now. 1 second. I'll start the recording.
This conference will now be recorded.
So, hi guys. Good evening, everyone. So today we are going to discuss about statistics. Introduction to statistics. What is the meaning of statistics? What are the things present in the statistics and all this stuff. Okay. We're going to start. So this is generally the continuation of our. So today I'm going to discuss about statistics, and tomorrow, after some classes, I'm going to implement the same thing in R programming language. So this is not again a new thing. So it's a continuation of R programming language. So it will be theory, and then after that the practical implementation of this theory in the R programming language. Okay. So the class is going to be in that way. So the statistics theory will be going on, and then after completing the theory, so then I'm going to implement the same theory in the practical session using R. Okay. So this is how it works. So today will be mostly a theory session for you. So this is the introduction to stats and what are the things which are present in the statistics. We are going to discuss it today. Okay.
This conference will now be recorded. Muted.
One minute, guys. Yeah. So today we're going to discuss about statistics. In 1 second, guys.
This conference is no longer being recorded.
Just allow me a minute, guys. I'm just checking with my microphone. There is an disturbance here. So sorry for that. Just give me a second. Is still the disturbance exist for you? Hello?
No, there is no disturbance now. We can hear you.
Yeah, okay, nice. Thank you. Sorry, guys. So we are going to start. One second.
This conference will now be recorded.
So we are going to start statistics from today. So we're going to start the basic thing. So what is basically statistics? What are present in the statistics? What are the different type of statistics present right now, like that? So we're going to discuss that. So basically, so do you know what is the basic definition of statistics? So anyone who knows the basic definition of statistics?
I think it is the representation of data to analyze some facts and come to some conclusion.
Okay, that's great. So basically, the statistics is nothing but, so statistics is the study of first of all how to collect. So we need to first collect the data, organize it, and then analyze it, and then after we need to interpret it. Okay, so first we need to collect the data, organize, analyze, and interpret the numerical information. So basically the data will be in the form of numerical information. So we need to analyze that. So first thing we need to collect. The first thing what you have to do is we need to collect the data. Then after we need to organize it, and then after we need to analyze it, and then we need to interpret it in order to make some conclusions. Okay, so that's the basic definition of statistics actually. So first thing what a statistician done is, so he's going to collect the data first. He's going to So first thing, guys, we need to collect the data here, and then we need to organize it basically. So after collecting the data from various sources, we need to first organize it basically. So what is first, what is next, like that. And then after organizing the data, we need to start analyzing. So from here, our game starts. So we need to analyze the data, and after analyzing the data, we need to come up with some conclusions. Okay, so we need to interpret the data, and we need to come up with the conclusions. So what is basically, what is this data, what is telling actually, and what is the what is our interest here in this data, and what is our output, so what we want from this data, like that. Okay, so all the things can be done after this. The first thing, we need to collect the data, we need to organize it basically, and then analyze the data, and then after analyzing the data, we need to interpret the data after that. Okay, so that's what we need to do in a statistics. So basically this was done the basic a day-to-day statistician. So in his day-to-day life he's going to do all these things. Okay, and so that's the definition. So basically what is this example? So what is the example? So what is basically the example of a statistics? Okay, so coming to this example, so suppose we have a Walmart data. Okay, so Walmart is a very big the company in US, and so it's also having branches in India too. So we have the Walmart data here with us, and so first thing what we have to do, so suppose say I want to analyze the workers who are working in Walmart. Okay, so whether they're happy with their salaries or not. So I want to analyze the happiness scale of the people, the workers in Walmart. Okay, so I just want to analyze how much happy they are, what the salary they are getting, and all this stuff. Okay, so how to do that? The first thing what you have to do, I need to go to each and every Walmart. Okay, so I need to go to Walmart first. And then after going to Walmart, what I have to do, I start collecting the data. Like I just ask one of the worker who is one of the worker who is working there, and I need to start like collecting the data from him. So how much salary you are getting, how much happy you are, like are you work satisfied, your like how is your profession, like that, all this stuff. Okay, so then after collecting the data, so I'll just visit all these Walmarts near to my place or all like that, and I'm going to collect the data from all the persons who are working there. And then after collecting the data, so I'm just collecting, I just collected the data. So first, next thing what you have to do is I need to organize it basically. So first, after collecting the data, I need to organize the data in correct manner. Like I have different data which from different Walmarts. So the next step is need to organize it in order to make the analyzation. Okay. So after collecting the data from different sources of Walmart, I need to organize it. Okay. And then after organizing, I need to start my analyzing. Okay. So the here comes with the analyzing step. So I need to analyze various things here. So like how the workers in the Walmart are working, like is they happy with the salaries, is they happy with their work profession, and all this stuff. Okay, so I need to analyze it, and then after analyzing all these things using various I need to analyze the data using various statistical methods. Okay, so I'm going to use various statistical methods here in this step, and I'm going to analyze the data in this step. Okay, and after analyzing, I need to interpret. So after analyzing the data, and I need to interpret, and I need to come up with the conclusions. So I need to come up with the conclusion saying, so I have analyzed the data. So first thing I have done, I have went to each and every Walmart near to my place. I have collected whole data from Walmart workers, what are their salaries, are they happy or not, and what are their work satisfaction, is it 100% or it's like they have some difficulties like that or not like that. I collected all the data, and then after what I have done, after collecting, I organized it neatly. So I organized the whole data neatly, and then after I started analyzing the data. Okay, so after analyzing the data, so I need to I analyze the data using various statistical methods, and I have come up with some conclusions. Okay, so suppose say the conclusions are like this. So I concluded with the data which I have collected that, so the workers who are working in the in the management level, so suppose say the manager or supervisor like that are more happy. Why? Because so they doesn't have any that much stress, so they are more happy, so they are getting good salaries, they are experienced people, so they are more happy with the salaries, with the work culture and all the stuff. Okay, so generally this happens, right? So basically the management people will be happy than the normal people. So that's the general interpretation, right? So that thing, so your manager will be more happy than the actual employees. That happens in IT, right? Always. So they're not going to do they are going to do various things, but I'm not saying that they're not going to do all the things, but basically the work pressure they are having are a little bit less when compared with the actual workers. So I just come up with these type of conclusions. Okay, so that's how a statistician works. So he collect the data, he'll organize it, he'll analyze using various statistical methods, and then after analyzing analyzing the data, he'll just come up with the conclusions, saying this type of stuff, like the workers who are working in the management level are more happy than the workers who are at the lower level. So like this stuff they are going to come up with. Okay, so that's basically a statistical study. So this is an example of a one statistical study which is related to Walmart. Okay, uh, any other any doubts, guys, until this point? So that's basically the definition. So statistics is nothing but is a study of how to collect, organize, analyze, and interpret the data. Okay, so that's the basic definition of a statistics. And so basically, the statistician is need to do some decisions, he need to come up with some conclusions with the actual data, okay, present with him. So first thing we need to collect the data, then organize it, and then after we need to interpret it, and then after we need to come up with some conclusions. Okay, and no doubt. Okay, so next thing, so I'll just go with some of the jargons which are present in the statistics. Okay, so the jargons are nothing but basic definitions. So the like words which are generally used by a statistician in a day-to-day life. What is the meaning of that and all the stuff? Okay, so what is the meaning of individual? So we have something called as individuals, and we have something called as variables. Okay, so what is the basic meaning of these individuals and what is the meaning of variables? Okay, so generally whenever someone you listen individual, so what comes into your mind, guys? Like whenever you need to be more interactive today. Okay, so I'm going to ask you various questions, and I also have some assignment for you. I have uploaded in Google Drive in the name of the folder of data science assignments. So we need to you need to complete that today, okay, and send the answers in the WhatsApp group. So whoever complete first, just share your answers in a WhatsApp group, and the people who feels there is some wrong answer in that can come up with the new answers and reason for that and all this stuff. Okay, so yeah, like it's uploaded in Google Drive. You have the link in the group description. You can access from there. So like that. Okay, so everything from today it will be like a assignment and a class like this. Every day I'm going to complete the class and I'm going to give some assignment to you. So you need to complete by the end of the day, by the end of the tomorrow's class, and you need to come up for the tomorrow's class. So it will be like this from today. Okay, so coming to the today's class, so what is the basic meaning of individual? So you need to be interactive, guys. So what is the meaning of individual? A person alone? Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, correct, Prabhu. So individual is nothing but generally we say the people. So people or persons like that. So a person is nothing but called as individual, and a people are also called as individuals. Okay, so those are individuals. And what is the meaning of variables? So whenever you listen, what is variable? What is your thought process? So what is the meaning of variable? What comes into your mind when someone says you a variable? Anyone? Anyone can tell me
Unmuted.
this? So what is the meaning of variable? Yes, you are correct, absolutely. So a variable is nothing but a factor that can vary. Okay, so by the name itself, you can say a variable is nothing but that can that varies. Okay, so that's the meaning of variable. So variable is nothing but it varies. Okay, and so what is the what is the example of this individual is? So say uh, the 50 individuals are working in some KFC. Okay, so 50 individuals work in KFC. So that's one. That's nothing but individuals. So 50 number of individuals will work in KFC, something like that. And examples for this variable is, so a variable example is the wages for the individuals. So that varies, right? So some people may have higher wages, some people may have lower wages. That varies. So individual is nothing but the people, and variables are nothing but something like wages. So wages varies with the person to person. That's nothing but a variable. So this is the general meaning. So when someone says you individual and when someone says you variable, so this is the general meaning the people can come up with. Okay, right? So that this will be a thought process. But so when coming to the statistician, so what is the thought process of statistician? So what is the meaning of individual according to a statistician? Okay, so individual is nothing but, so for him individual is nothing but people as it is like a normal individual, and he can also think in this way. So whenever someone, a statistician, listen to a word individual, he'll come up with this type of thought process. Okay, so he'll think that individual is nothing but it may be the people or it may be the objects, the people or objects or something like rows, not rows, uh, something like people, objects, and something like this. That's it. So like whenever the statistician listen to the word individual, he come up with the conclusions like this. So individual is nothing but, according to him, it's maybe the people or it may be the objects. Okay, so whatever you want to study, so that will be the his individual. Okay, so people are objects which are included in the study. Okay, so suppose say he's studying about something called as the population which are present in the 2010 in India. So then his individual is nothing but people there. Okay, so then the people will become individual to him. Suppose say he was not studying about the population, but he was just studying about the like geometrical analysis. Suppose say he was studying about various regions. Okay, so what are the people lifestyle there? Like various, he's just studying about the regions. Like what are the climatic conditions there out in Hyderabad or in Delhi or in Mumbai, like that. Okay, so he's just studying about the different places which are present in India. Then that places will become individual to him. Okay, and suppose I was just studying about different teas available in Starbucks. Like we have cappuccino, we have various type of teas, right? So we just want to study about different types of teas which are present in Starbucks. At that time, that tea will become an individual to him. So whatever he is analyzing, like whatever he is studying, that thing will become an individual to him. Okay, whether it may be the people, whether it may be the states, whether it may be the teas, or anything like that. Any doubts, guys?
They are coffees. Cappuccino and all, they are coffees, I believe.
Yeah, sorry, coffees. Yeah, Starbucks, like generally this is coffees. So it's coffees. Okay, so different things. So the it may be the people or it may be the thing like sorry. So it may be the people or it may be the objects, something like the estates or something like coffees, like that. So that will be an individual to a statistician. Okay. So according to statistician, what is meaning of individual is, so suppose say he was studying about the population which is present in India. At that time, the population becomes his individual. Okay. Suppose say he was studying about something called as coffees which are selling by Starbucks. About different coffees selling by the Starbucks. At that time, the coffee will become individual to him. So suppose say he was just studying about various places, like he was just want to study climatic conditions which are present in various places like Hyderabad, Mumbai, Delhi, like that. At that time, the places will become an individual to him. Okay, Raju, clear or any doubt again? Should I repeat again?
Yeah, I got it. Got it now. Thanks.
Okay. So whatever
So
he
it's
studies,
basically
that
the thing which
study
is
of,
under study, right?
yeah, basically the thing which is included in the study is nothing but an individual to him. Okay.
Okay. It could be people, object, place, or anything.
Anything, anything.
Yeah.
It may be anything.
Got
Okay.
got it.
So that will be the individual to him. And what is the variable to him? So according to statistician, what is a variable? Okay. So according to statistician, what is the variable is? So variable is nothing but, according to him, it's the characteristics of an individual. Okay. So according to him, the variable is nothing but it's a characteristic of an individual to be measured or observed. 1 second. So according to statistician, what is the meaning of variable is characteristics of an individual to be measured or observed. So suppose say he was just analyzing the data of people present in Hyderabad. Okay, so he was just having some data with him. So he was just going to various people and he was just asking for various questions. Okay, so suppose say he was just asking for the age. Okay, so age of an individual is nothing but it's a variable to him. Okay, so in this analysis, so you just want to analyze the people which are present in Hyderabad at that time. So individual is nothing but the people present in Hyderabad. Okay, so the people present in the Hyderabad will become individual to him, and what are the variable to him is various. So what data he is collecting, suppose say the name of the person, the age of the person, salary of the person, the place he lives, the climatic conditions where he lives, like that. So this one will become the variable to him. So whenever, suppose say I just want to analyze the people which are present in Hyderabad, so there the people will become an individual to him, and the what are the variables to him is the name, age, salary, place, climatic conditions, etc. will become the variables to him. Okay, so that's the difference between a normal individual and a statistician. Okay, so now onwards, when someone says you what is an individual, so when someone suddenly says that individual, so what should come into your mind? So it may be the people, or it may be the object, or it may be the place, or anything which is subjected to study is nothing but individual to you. And what is a variable? So when someone says variable, so what should come into your mind? So a characteristic of an individual. So suppose say you are studying about various people present in Hyderabad. So at that time, what are your variables? Name, age, place they live, climatic conditions they live, like that. So that will become a variable to you. Okay, clear guys? So do you have any doubts in individual and variable? So before saying
Clear.
okay, be ready for answering your questions. Okay, but from today it will be a question and answer to you session. So you need to be ready for answering my questions. Okay, so I'll just tell you one example. So you need to find it out whether it's an individual or whether it's a variable. Okay, so suppose say city,
Unmuted.
population, rate of deaths, like cinemas, taste. Yeah, so these are different things. So from this, tell me guys, so what is an individual, what is a variable? Okay, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And taste. Mm-hmm. Correct. So see, any other one, any other answers guys? Anyone?
Population, I think it will be a variable. Population,
Mm-hmm.
because that can be measurable, right? Measured.
Yeah.
So people might be individual, but population will be variable. For like, on my opinion, city will be variable. Patients will be variable, but rate of deaths will be sorry, city will be individual, patients will be individual, and rate of deaths will be variable. Cinemas will be individual, and taste will be variable.
Okay. Right. Okay. Mm.
Yes,
Raju
the same.
has come up with some answers. Variables are taste. Okay. Okay, fine. Yeah, Raju, you are correct. Yes. So, see, guys. So, city. So suppose say I just want to analyze about the individuals in Hyderabad. So like in different states, like in Hyderabad or Mumbai or Delhi, like that. So at that time, my so cities will be my individuals. Okay. So city. So I just want to analyze the people present in various cities. So at that time, the cities will be my individuals, and the population which are present in that cities will become my variable. Okay. So like population which are like city, like I just want to analyze the people which are present in Hyderabad, Delhi, Mumbai, like that. So at that time, the city will be my individuals, like Hyderabad, Secunderabad, and all this will be my individuals, and the variables will be the population which are present in the city. Okay. So the population numbers, how many people live in this area, how many people live in that area, like that will be become variables. And next thing, the patients. So I just want to analyze the different patients present in different hospitals. Okay. So here now the patient will become my individuals, and I just want to analyze various analyze the various patients present in the different hospitals. Their what is their problem? What are the rate of deaths in that hospitals? So why they are dying like that? Okay. So in that case, so this will be becoming rate of death will be becoming by variable. Okay. And next thing, cinemas. So I just want to analyze the different tastes of the people about different films, cinemas. So at that time, so I just cinemas will become my individuals, and tastes will become my so different tastes. So that's nothing but a variable, right? So that will be becoming my variable. Some people like horror cinemas, some people like comedy, some people like thriller, some people may like dramatic, like that. Okay, so that will be my variable. Okay, so that's an example. Okay, so any doubts? So depending on the situation, what we are analyzing, so some becomes individual, some becomes variables. So depending, so it's not like every time city will be an individual and every time population will be variable. So sometimes it depends. So what we are analyzing and what we are coming up. Okay. Uh, any doubts, guys, until this point? Any? Okay. Clear. Okay, guys. So we'll just move to the next thing. So next topic is the population versus sample. Okay. So what is the difference between a population and what is the difference between a sample? Okay. So what is basically meaning of population? What is basically meaning of sample? So when coming to the population, so population is nothing but, so this terminology you need to keep in mind, guys. So listen carefully. So what is meaning of population? So population is nothing but a group of people or a group of objects is nothing but population. Okay. So what is the meaning of population is a group of whole people or objects. Okay. So suppose say example, I'll just come up with an example afterwards. And what is the meaning of sample is, so sample is nothing but it's a small portion. So small portion of population is nothing but a sample. So a small portion in a population, nothing but a sample. A group of peoples are nothing but a population. Okay. So that's a definition actually. So population is nothing but a group of people or objects, and the sample is nothing but it's a small portion of population. Okay. So what is an example of population is, so the IT employees in Hyderabad are called is nothing but a population. So all IT employees in Hyderabad is nothing but a population, and in that, so what is a sample is, so this is
Gender we can take, Sujay.
sorry.
Gender
Yeah,
we can take as a
gender we can take as a
sample.
yeah. That's what. So what is the meaning of sample is, so suppose say HRs in IT, like IT companies in Hyderabad. That may be a sample. Okay. So the whole population, so the population is nothing but the whole IT employees in Hyderabad is nothing but a population. And from that IT employees, I'm just taking only the HRs. So that HRs is nothing but a sample. Okay. So population is nothing but on a whole, and sample is nothing but a small part of the population is nothing but a sample. So as the Lokesh said, so we can also say the female population, like females in IT companies in Hyderabad can be a sample. Okay, like suppose say management people in IT companies Hyderabad can also be a sample. Okay, so if you consider on a whole, it's a population, and from on that whole, if you are taking only some part, then we can say it's a sample. Okay, clear, guys? Any doubts? Yeah, it should be. It's a part of population actually. Small portion of population. It should be in population. Okay. So clear, guys? Any other doubts? It can't be a percentage actually. So it's not the percentage. We are going to say take some part. So maybe 1% or 2% or maybe 10% or 99%. So it depends. So some part of a population is nothing but a sample. So we can't say it by percentage. So 99% is not a sample. 1% is a sample. Like that we can't say. So this portion is a portion of population is nothing but a sample. It may be 1% or it may be 90%. Okay. So it doesn't depend on the percentage. Clear? Okay. Uh, okay, guys. So generally the population a population is nothing but the entire thing. Okay, so we can say the population as census. So census, we can say the population as census data. And so suppose say where is population used and where is census like sample used. Okay, so suppose say generally the government of India is going to do the population survey. So how many people are present in India for 10 years. So for every 10 years, they are going to count whole population of India, and they are going to come up with some figure. Okay. So like that. So we need to consider whole India for that, right? So we need to consider whole India, and we need to say that. So this many people are presently living in India, like that. Okay. So at that time, the whole population is used. That's nothing but a census. Okay. So if you consider the whole population and if you are doing something, then that's nothing but a census. Okay. And when is sample used? So basically when is sample used is, so sample is used in something like the people who are living in Hyderabad, maybe they will be familiarized for this. So like whenever the new film comes, so some people are going to IMAX. So the reviewers will go to IMAX and they're going to be standing at outside the theaters. So whenever the show finishes, They are going to ask some questions like that. So how is the film? So how is the actor performance? How is the actor's performance? Like that. Okay. So these people, these things happens, right? So every day, like whenever a new film, the Friday night, so Friday morning they are going to release the new films. So after completing the first show, the reviewers are going to go there in the front of IMAX, and then they are going to start with the like they're going to wait with the mics, saying like how is the film, how is the actor's performance, how is the actress performance, like that, right? So the people of Hyderabad basically know this stuff. So this thing happens, right? So they're going to say that yeah, the hero did fantastic, like that. So all this stuff will happen, right? So that thing. So there what happens? So they are not there. They are not going to ask all the people who saw the film. So only the some part of the people they are going to ask, and they are going to write the reviews according to only the small portion of people who saw that film. So they are not. They are going to take only the reviews in IMAX, not in other all the theaters, right? So they are going to only going to IMAX, and they are going to take the reviews, and they are not going to take the reviews of all the people who saw that film, right? And they are going to write the reviews, like they are going to give something like 4.5 for that, 5 like that for the film, right? So that thing happens. So here they are not going to consider all the people who saw that film. So they are not. They are only going to consider only some of the people there, and they are going to come up with some conclusions. So that's nothing but using a sample. Okay, but in government of India survey, like they are going to calculate the population of India, like for every 10 years. So at that time they are going to consider all the people. So they are going to consider all the people who are present in India. So that's nothing but population, and this cinema reviews is nothing but a sample. Okay, so clear, guys? So pop example of population is the government of India population survey is nothing but it's a population. So they are going to consider all the people who are present in India. So that's nothing but population. And what is the meaning of sample? Cinema reviews. So cinema reviews will be based on only the views of the small portion of people. So they are not going to consider the opinions of all the people, and they are going to come up with some conclusions. But they are going to consider only portion of people who saw that film, and they are going to come up with some conclusions. Okay, clear, guys? Until this point, anyone having any doubts? Clear? Okay. Any other doubts, guys?
Yeah, how is this cinema reviews related to the population? Because if we are considering the entire population survey, will that also cover this sample, or how exactly it is, or it is totally a different example?
No, it's also going to cover the sample. So suppose say I just want the review of suppose like some new film has came up in the Friday night, like some of the Salman Khan film have come up, and suppose say they are going to do some survey. Some people are going to do some survey, right? So they are going to come up with some reviews saying that this film is good. I'm going to give 4.5 out of 5, like that, right? So here what happens? So they are not going to consider every people. So they are not going to every theater. They are not going to ask every person who saw that film, right? So they are not going to consider only the few people who saw the film, and they are going to come up with some conclusions. So taking the entire people who saw that film on that day will, like if you want to do that, so it will be hectic and a waste of time. So many stuffs. So it's unnecessary basically. So if it can't be done practically, so we can't ask the whole people who saw that film on that day, right? So only they are going to ask people, and they are going to come up with some conclusions. That's it. So they're not going to ask every individual who saw that film, right? So like if you ask every individual who saw the Salman Khan film on that day, then that's nothing but population. But if you are, that's ridiculous. That's meaningless. Why? Because we can't ask every individual who saw that film, and that can't be a practical thing. But the practical thing is, so we can ask some of the people who saw that film, right? And we can know their reviews. And from that small amount of people we asked, we can just come up with some conclusion saying that yeah, this movie is good. So maximum people which whom I asked are saying its film is good, like that. So that things is nothing but a sample. So sample is also going to be a part of population, but the whole population we can't ask the review. So the thing is, we'll ask some part of the population. That's nothing but sample. So clear?
Yeah, clear. Thanks.
So next thing, guys. So the whole population we are going to indicate in the form of capital N, whereas the normal sample we are going to indicate it by using small n. Okay, so the whole population will the statistical notation is like this. The whole population we just do it by using capital N, and the normal sample we are going to represent using small n. Okay, so that's the difference. So whenever you see the capital N, that means the whole population is included, and whenever you see small n, that means only the sample of a population is included. Clear? Anyone having any doubts until this point? No? Everything is clear, guys? Or any doubts? So suppose say I just ask questions, okay? So suppose say I just ask whether it's a population or it's sample. Okay, you need to tell that. So the survey of cancers rate in India. And next thing, restaurant review. And next thing, something like pollution survey in India. Okay. Next thing, something like this. Okay. So tell me. So this one, what is where the sample is included, where the population is included.
What is population?
Sample.
Okay, clear, correct. Any other questions? Any other answers?
Survey of cancers rate in India and pollution survey in India. These are both population, whereas restaurant reviews, this is a sample.
Okay, correct. Yeah. Any other answers, guys? So I'm getting only the answers from some of the people. So please be active, guys. Everyone be active. So whoever joined the class, be active and ask me. So there is nothing. If you tell me the wrong answer, I'm not going to tell anything to you. Okay. So just it's your opinion. That's it. Okay. So everyone, please be interactive. Try to answer my questions. Okay. So if you are not going to do that, I am going to ask you individually directly. Okay.
Sure.
Thank you. So next thing, guys, I'm going to the next topic. So next topic is nothing but parameter and parameter versus statistics. Okay.
Any break in between?
We are going to complete the class in like 15 minutes more. That's it. After that, you can
Okay.
take a whole break. Okay? 15 to 20 minutes. That's it. Not more than that. Okay. So the next topic is the parameter and versus statistics. So what is the basic difference between a parameter and what is the meaning of statistics? Okay. So parameter is nothing but, so whenever someone says you it's a parameter, it's nothing but, so it's only the, like if it's included the entire population. Okay. So parameter is nothing but if you are considering the entire population, then that is a parameter. And what is the meaning of statistics is, so statistics is not going to complete like cover the entire population. It's going to cover only the sample of population. Okay. So when someone says you it's a statistic, then the meaning is the whole population is not included. Only the part of the population is included. That's nothing but a sample. Okay. So like whenever someone says this is a parameter, then it's the entire population. And whenever someone says you it's a statistic, then it's nothing but it's only the sample of population is included. So suppose say the example of this parameter is the HIV rates in South Africa. So that's nothing but it's a parameter. Why? Because the whole South Africa population is included in that. So that's it's a parameter of, it's nothing but we can call it a parameter. So I can call HIV rates in South Africa is a parameter. Why? Because the whole the people in South Africa are included. And the example of a statistics is the age of uh, average reviews, not average, sorry, reviews for restaurant. So if we see Google reviews, right? So we are going to get, so whenever someone, if you want to go to a restaurant, we'll just see the Google reviews and we'll go, right? So at that time, so we are going to get from out of 5, this restaurant is having ratings of say 4.5. So like that we are going to see. So that's nothing but, so that reviews, that average of all the ratings are not based on the whole population who have visited that restaurant. So only the some people are going to come, like they have some patients, they are going to rate the restaurant. But all the people are not going to rate the restaurant by by signing into Google, right? So that's nothing but it's a stats. So that 4.5 out of 5 is nothing but stats of that restaurant. But coming to parameter, so suppose say the South African government have come up with some figures. So 20% of people who are living in South Africa are affected by HIV virus. So that's nothing but they have considered the whole population in South Africa and they have come up with some figure saying 20% of people who live in South Africa are affected by HIV virus, like that. So at that time, that 20% of people, that is nothing but a parameter, and this 4.5 out of 5 for this restaurant is nothing but a statistics. Okay, clear? Statistics is similar to sample. So sample of a population is nothing but a statistic. So that's simple, similar. Okay.
So are these
So
the different terms for population and sample? Because by definition and explanation, parameter is same as population and statistics is same as sample.
so
So
population is nothing but it's like a group. Suppose say a group of people, IT employees. So IT employees are nothing but population, and that the fact that parameters of that population are like this, like like HIV, like suppose say salaries, like company, where he is working, and all this stuff. That's our parameter. Okay. So the individual is nothing but population, and the characteristics of that population are nothing but parameter. Okay. Like suppose say IT employee is a population. So I'll just one second. I'll just tell you. So population is nothing but, suppose say IT employee is nothing but population. Okay, so the whole IT employees in, suppose say in Hyderabad. Okay, and what are the parameters of that population is, suppose say his salary, the place he lives, and the bike he rides, whether it, suppose say the vehicle he rides, maybe the two-wheeler or four-wheeler, like that. Okay, so those are parameters of that IT employees. Okay, so if you take the IT employees of whole Hyderabad, and if you come up with like salaries of all the people, places they live, vehicles they live, then that thing is nothing but parameter. But suppose say if you are just coming up with all the things for only the small set of people, then at that time this will be a statistics. Okay. So one second, this is for all individuals, but these are for only the sample. Okay, so if you take the consider all the people, then that's parameter, and if you only consider the small set of people, then that's a stats. Clear?
Clear. Yeah. So basically, parameter is attribute of the whole set of population under
Yes.
study. Statistic is
Yeah.
a attribute of you can say small set of sample of that population under study, right?
Yes. Yes.
And
So
most of the terms are interrelated now, so it's a bit confusing. I mean, I am confused with this individual and population, because I can see and correlate individual with population, because both seem to be the same, right? Because both are the entities under consideration under study, and variable and parameters and statistics, these are also interrelated, right? There is also nothing but attribute of the individual, correct?
Yeah, everything is same. There is just a word difference. So you need to best see that. So if you take whole thing, then it's population. If you take only the small part, then it's sample. That's only difference. There is more big difference with all these things.
Okay.
Okay. So by discussing all this stuff, so we have come up with one thing. Okay. So basically, statistics are of two types. So statistics are of basically two types. Okay. There are two types of statistics. They are nothing but descriptive statistics and next thing is inferential statistics. Okay, so the statistics, so they are basically the descriptive statistics and inferential statistics. Okay, so what are the definition of a descriptive statistics and what are the definition of an inferential statistics? Okay, so coming to the definition of an descriptive statistics, so a descriptive statistics is nothing but methods of organizing, picturing, summarizing information from population or samples. Okay, is nothing but methods of organizing, picturizing, summarizing, and summarizing the information from the population or samples are nothing but it's a descriptive statistics. Any doubts? Hello? Yeah, nice. So, descriptive statistics is nothing but it's a method of organizing, picturizing, summarizing the information from the population or samples. Okay. So, suppose say you consider a sample or you consider a population. Okay. So, what we are going to do? So, we are going to organize the whole data and we are going to summarize it. That's it. So, we are not going to do anything. So, we are going to organize the whole data, summarize it, and picturize. So we are going to generate some graphs like bar plots or any plots. We are going to generate that and we are going to see that. That's it. So we just organize the data. We are going to picturize it and we are going to summarize it. That's it. We are not going to do anything other than it. So suppose say I have collected the data of whole so I considered the population. So suppose say I have collected the data of the people who are working in like who are present in Hyderabad. Okay. So what I do? So I just collected and then I organized it correctly and then after I have generated various graphs. So using that data, that's it. So that's nothing but it's a descriptive statistics. Okay. So the descriptive statistics may be using sample or maybe using the population. So anything will work for the descriptive statistics. But when coming to the inferential statistics, so it's coming to the definition itself. So by the name itself, inferential. So it's nothing but a general meaning of inferential is giving the clues. So we're going to give the clue, not the exact thing. So we are going to give the clue, not the exact thing actually. Okay, so that's nothing but inferential. So the basic definition of inferential statistics comes like this. So it's a methods of using the information from samples and we are going to draw some conclusions. Okay, so conclusions regarding the population. So inferential statistics definition comes like this. So it's a method of using the information from the samples and we are going to use the information from the samples and we are going to draw some conclusions for the whole population. Okay. So like we are going to consider the only the small sample there and we are going to come up with conclusions which will be implemented like which will be universal for whole population. Okay. So we are going to take only the sum part of the whole population and we are going to do some statistical analysis. And then after doing this, we are going to come up with some conclusions regarding the whole population. Okay. So we'll just take one part and we will like, suppose say, so if you want to know that whole the rice is cooked or not, we need not to check for the whole grains, right? So we'll just check only for one grain. So generally this something is called like this is the thing we call it in some Telugu language. So we need not to check for the whole rice if whether it's cooked or not. So we're going to consider only one rice grain and we're going to check that or not. And we are going to come up with some conclusion saying that it's cooked like that. Clear? Or this example is little bit old like that. So we need not to check for the whole rice whether it's cooked or not. Only the one grain of rice is enough to know whether it's cooked or not like that. Okay, so any doubts guys until this point?
Unmuted.
Any doubt? Yeah, so descriptive statistics, the example for that is, so there we are not going to come up with some conclusions and we are not going to do anything like that. So we'll just, we have the whole data there, so we're going to picturize it and we'll just summarize what is this exactly. That's it. So what the data telling you, that's it. So like suppose say example I have the whole data of the population present in Hyderabad in the year 2011. So what I'll do, I'll just generate some graphs there and I'll just summarize. So this many people are present in Hyderabad in that 2011 year in in these different areas. Okay, like that. That's it. So we're not going to come up with some conclusions there. So just we'll summarize the whole information which we have. That's it. We're not going to tell anything. But in inferential statistics, what we do is, so using the small data, which we are not having the whole data here. We have the small data. Suppose say I have only the data of people who are working in IT in Hyderabad. Okay, so I'll just take that data and I'll just do some statistical analysis, and I'll come up with conclusion saying, so these people are the people who are present in Hyderabad are happy. Okay, so I don't have the data of all the people present in Hyderabad. Okay, I only took the data of the people who are working in IT in Hyderabad, but not the other people. Like, so some people may work in government, some people may work in real estate or various domains. But I'm not taking the data of all the people. So I'm only taking the data of IT people there in Hyderabad, and I'm doing some analysis, and I'm coming with the conclusion saying that the people who are present in all the people who are present in Hyderabad are happy. Okay, so like that. So that's inferential statistics. So we'll just take some sample data, we'll do some analysis there, and we'll just come up with conclusions on the whole population. Okay, like that. So we're not going to take whole population, we're going to take only the sample data, like various people are present in Hyderabad. So some people work in IT, some people work in real estate, some people work in in railways, like that, in government, like all this stuff. But we are going only take, suppose I am only taking IT people who are working in Hyderabad, and I am coming with the conclusion saying all the people in Hyderabad are happy. But actually I didn't took the data of all the people. I only took the data of only the IT people. Okay, so that's inferential statistics. So we need not to check for the whole rice whether it's boiled or not. Only the 1 grain of rice is enough for telling that whether the rice is cooked or not. That's the general example. So any other doubts, guys? Any doubts or anything you didn't understand, ask me. I'll tell you.
In descriptive statistics, we do not conclude, right?
Yeah,
We
it's
just
not going to conclude. We just summarize the information which is present. So basically, a data scientist is the main focus of data scientist will be on inferential statistics rather than the descriptive statistics. So data analytic people generally focuses on descriptive analysis, descriptive statistics, and data scientists will basically focus on inferential statistics. Okay, so I'll just come up with some conclusions. Okay, clear, guys? Any other doubts? Any other doubts, guys? If you have any doubts, you can ask me. You have 2 minutes for you. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Otherwise, we'll just go to the next topic. Any doubts or any confusions? Ask me. No? Fine. So we'll just go to the next topic. Okay. So we have different type of variables in statistics. Okay. So we have different types of variables which are present in statistics. That I'll tell you. Okay. So coming to the variable. So we already discussed what is meaning of variable. So the variable are nothing but the characteristics of an individual. Okay. So whether it may be the age or something like his name, his rank, salary, like that. Okay. So we have different types of variables. So the first category of variable is nothing but it's quantitative, and next category of variable is nothing but qualitative. Okay. So basically the variables are divided into two things, quantitative or qualitative. So what is meaning of quantitative? So whenever you deal that data is present in the form of numerical, so then that we can say it's a quantitative data. Okay. So numerical data is nothing but quantitative data, and categorical data is nothing but it's a qualitative data. So what is meaning of categorical? What is meaning of numerical? I'll just tell you with an example. So example of this quantitative data is, so suppose say age of a person is nothing but it's a quantitative data. It's a numerical data, right? So the age of the person may be 20. So sorry guys. So age of the person is nothing but it's a numerical data. So we can say it's a quantitative. Age, salary, and suppose say time is nothing but it's all our quantitative data. They are numerical data. Okay. So coming to the categorical data, so we can say something like this. So gender. So gender is a categorical data. And next thing, categorical data like country. So all the people will belongs to one of the countries, suppose say India or Sri Lanka or Pakistan or anything. Okay, so that's qualitative. Gender, country, that comes under qualitative. Okay, so quantitative data are nothing but numerical data like age, salary, time, and qualitative data are nothing but categorical data like gender, country, suppose say like something like that. Okay, so we just have one more like subdivisions into qualitative and quantitative, but before that I need to make like give some more difference between quantitative and as qualitative. So what are the differences? So quantitative data will have the differences between data values are meaningful. Okay, so different one more difference between quantitative and qualitative is the differences between data values are meaningful in quantitative, whereas the differences between data values are not meaningful. Okay, so that in quantitative, so in quantitative the differences between the data values are meaningful, whereas in qualitative the differences between the data are not meaningful. Okay, so what is the differences? I'll just tell you. Okay, so what is the basic definition, like what is this, why you are saying the differences between data values are meaningful, why you are saying were not meaningful? I'll just tell you with an example. Okay, so suppose say uh, here we have something called as BP. Okay, blood pressure. So suppose say in quantitative we have blood pressure. Suppose say the BP is, suppose general BP is 120 by 80 for a person. So we say something 120 by 80 is a normal blood pressure for a person. Suppose say someone has 180 by 70. So at that time we say it's a low BP, right? So it's not lower than the normal BP blood pressure. Suppose say I say 130 by 120. In that case, it's an high BP. Okay, so we can say that it's an high blood pressure. It's not more than a normal blood pressure, right? So that like that we can say. Okay, and here so here what happens is, so see, so we have a meaningful difference actually. So this 120 by 80 is normal human being blood pressure, normal blood pressure, but whenever you say 110 by 70 it's low BP, and whenever you say 130 by 120 it's high BP. So there is some 10 difference between low BP and normal, and high BP and a normal. So we have a normal different data values are meaningful actually. So the difference between the data values are meaningful. Okay, why? Because we have a standard difference, 10 blood pressure difference between a low and high and normal. Okay, so that's the difference. Here data values are meaningful, difference between data values. But when coming to the qualitative data, so what are the examples for the qualitative data? So suppose say ranks. So we have first rank, second rank, third rank. Okay, so like that. So yeah, here we have qualitative data like ranks. So we have first rank, second rank, third rank, fourth rank, like that. Okay. So can you tell me the difference between here in BP we can say there is 10 difference between 120 and 110. So we have 10 blood pressure difference between 120 and 110. Okay, 20 times the heart is beating slow than the normal heart. We can say like that. But here, can we say that there is some first the difference between first rank and second rank is 0.1 rank, like that. So can we say that? So can we differentiate the difference between a first rank and second ranker? So with some measure, anyone?
The rank itself can we not measure? Second rank is one rank higher than or lower than first rank.
Yeah, but the difference actually, the difference we can say the between first rank and second rank, the actual difference. So in blood pressure, we can say we have a difference of 10 from normal blood pressure and high blood pressure, and we have a difference of 10 for lower blood pressure and a normal blood pressure. So we have a 10 difference. 10 times the heart is beating slow, but here with difference between a first rank and second rank, can we differentiate? Like, can we tell the difference actually?
With the rank number itself, can we not differentiate because these are all
That
numeric, no? First and
we
second.
can differentiate, but the between values, can we say that the differences between the two things? Can we say we can differentiate that he's first ranker, he can second ranker, he's third ranker, like that. But we can't differentiate like what is the measure, like what is this thing? Can we say difference between a first rank and a second rank?
Not sure.
Not sure, right? So that's the difference. So that's the thing. So that's why it's called as quantitative. So we can categorize them, that we can say that he's a first ranker, he's a second ranker, he's a third ranker. But that actual meaningful difference is not present between the first ranker, second ranker, third ranker. Like, so that's nothing but is a qualitative. Okay. Yeah.
So in case of this gender or country related information, how will we basically find out the qualitative data? Or
Suppose say gender.
to rank.
So gender, suppose say male, female. Okay. So there is some measure, like there is some number which can differentiate male or female. Or suppose a country like India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, like that. So did we have a measure difference between India and Sri Lanka? Then we say that this is a difference between India and Sri Lanka. So that's the reason we are differentiating that. We
Okay,
can't
so
say that.
if the value is just the name of the country or the gender type, then we cannot differentiate, right? So that will not be quantitative values.
It will be a qualitative. We can't. So there is no meaningful difference between both of them. So suppose say, I'll just tell you one more example. So we'll say rating. We'll give rating to the cinemas. So I have given 5 rating to one film. Some people have given 4. Some people have given 3.5, like that. Okay. So 5 is nothing but it's actually good. 4 is nothing but it's actually average. 3 is nothing but it's normal, it's very bad, like bad. One is nothing but it's very bad. But where they, is there is some measure that we can differentiate very bad and bad. So we have anything we have can, which we have a measure that there is some. So I am saying very bad because there is 10 points more than, like 10 points greater than the normal film. So did we have that meaningful difference between ratings? So we can differentiate that. So I have given 5, some people have given 4, some people have given 3, some people have given 1, like that. But the actual difference, so the difference we can't calculate actually. Okay. So that's meaning of qualitative. Okay. Clear? Or should I tell one more example for you?
One more example, please.
Uh, Something like suppose say OS versions. So we have something. Suppose say we have iPhones. Okay, so iPhone 6, 7, 8, 10 like that. Okay, so we have iPhone 5, and then after we have come up with iPhone 6, iPhone 7, iPhone 10 like that. Okay, so we have different versions here, but we can't differentiate. So is there is some measure which can differentiate iPhone 6 and iPhone 7. So something like we have something like I have 100 points more than, like, we can't differentiate, right? So if there is some measure which can differentiate iPhone 5 and iPhone 6, so we can't. So just don't think that depth. So just say iPhone 5, iPhone 6, iPhone 7, iPhone 8. So there is no some measure which can differentiate iPhone 5 and iPhone 6, like 10 points, 20 points like that. Okay, like suppose say BP. So I have 120. So suppose say age. So 26 age, 27 age, 28 age, 29 age. So we have one age gap. So 1 year gap between 26 age person and 27 age person. That's the reason we are saying he is 26 years old. He is 27 years old. Why? Because 27 years old has just lived 1 year extra than 26. So that's a actual, the difference is actually meaningful. Why? Because there is some meaning. So why we are saying this person as 27 is, so they just lived for 1 year more than 26%, right? So that's difference is meaningful, but we can't differentiate rank, first rank and second rank holder with some measure. Okay, so that is the reason we say the rank as qualitative and the age and salary as quantitative. Okay, so don't think in that way. So suppose it's numerical, it's quantitative. Suppose it's categorical, it's qualitative. So it will be easy for you. Okay.
Okay, got it.
So any doubts, guys, until this point, or everything is clear, or should I explain it again? Any doubts? Can I get an answer? So I will ask you questions after this topic. So just be easy. So if you see the numerical data, then it's quantitative. If you see categorical data, it's qualitative. Just keep that in mind. Okay. So when coming to the internal things, so we have two different subcategories for quantitative as well as qualitative. So in quantitative, we have something called as interval, and next thing we have something called as ratio. Okay, so ratio, we have something called as ratio and something called as interval. So what is meaning of interval? What is meaning of ratio? Okay, so in interval we have no true zero. Okay, so we don't have any zeros, no true zeros in interval. Okay, but in ratio we have true zero. Okay, so we have true zeros in ratio, but we don't have any true zeros in interval. So example for this is the time. So does time has any zeros? So we can say that now it's zero time like that. No, right? So that's nothing but interval. And example for ratio is, so suppose say uh, the fuel in your tank is zero. So we can say that, so I don't have any fuel, so my tank is empty. So my fuel is zero like that. Okay. So if we have a true interval, so if we have no true zero, then that's nothing but interval. If you have a true zero, then that's nothing but ratio. Okay. So that's the difference. And next thing, when coming to qualitative, we have two subcategories there. So which is nothing but nominal. The first thing is nominal, and next second thing is ordinal. Okay, so we have two things in qualitative, one thing called as nominal and one thing called as ordinal. So nominal is nothing but which can be ordered. and ordinal is nothing but which can't be ordered. Okay, so nominal is nothing but which can be ordered, or ordinal is nothing but which can't be ordered. So suppose say examples of country. So can we order the country names like India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka? So does we have any order? Sorry. Nominal is nothing but it can't be ordered, and ordinal is nothing but that can be ordered. So suppose say country. So country can be ordered. So India, Sri Lanka, Pakistan. So is there any specific order for ordering the country names? No, right? So that's nothing but ordered. And coming to the ordinal, so which can be ordered. Suppose say ranks. So ranks can be ordered, right? So we can say the first rank will come first, then next second rank, next third rank, next fourth rank, next fifth rank, like that. But we can't order the country names. So we can say first India, next Sri Lanka, like that. No, right? So country names can't be ordered, whereas that's nothing but nominal values, and ordinal values are nothing but which can be ordered, like ranks. First comes the first rank, then second, next third, next fourth rank, next fifth rank, like that, right? So that's nothing but qualitative. Okay, so that's the different variables in statistics. So that's the end of today's class, guys. So if you have any doubts, you can ask me. So today we discussed various things. So we discussed for what is the statistics. So statistics is nothing but is a study of how to organize, analyze, and interpret the numerical data. So the first thing, we need to collect the data, we need to organize it, we need to analyze the data, and then after interpret to come up with some conclusions. So suppose say with an example of Walmart. So first thing, I want to analyze the happiness scale of workers who are working in Walmart. So first what I'll do, I'll just go to the all Walmarts which are present near to me. I'll collect the data, and then after collecting the data, the next step I need to do is organize them. And next, after organizing, I'll apply the various statistical methods, and I'll analyze the data, and I'll come up with some conclusions saying that so the people who are working in the management are more happier than the people who are working in the lower level, like that. So that's all the conclusions, like that. And next thing, we have discussed what is an individual and what is a variable. So the people are like person whom we are, like suppose say you are analyzing the data of the population present in India, then the people present in India will become individual to you. Suppose say you are analyzing the data of different states and their geographical locations. At that time, the states will become individual to you. And coming to the factor variables, so various factors of the individual will become the variables. Suppose say the climatic conditions of the place, the population in that place, like that. Okay. So here we have discussed with an example saying, so the individuals working in our KFC will become individuals to us. The person who are working in KFC will become individual to us, and their wages, their salaries, like their place of living will become variables to us. Okay, and we discussed about various examples of individual and variables, and we discussed about various population sample and parameter statistics, and two types of two branches of statistics called as descriptive and inferential. And the data scientists are basically focusing on inferential statistic rather than more on the descriptive one. And we discussed about variables, different types of variables like qualitative and quantitative and their subcategories with an examples. And clear, guys? Any other doubt? Ratio and intervals. So intervals are nothing but we don't have any true zeros, whereas ratios we have true zeros. So time, so we can't say the time as zero, right? So that's nothing but an interval. And suppose say I have a fuel tank, like I don't have any fuel in that, then at that time I can say I have 0 liters of fuel in my tank. So that's nothing but say ratio. Okay, so that's the difference. Country name can be ordered by alphabetically, but there is not, like we just order based on the alphabet, but there is not order, right? So there is no logical order there. So we just order them using alphabetical series, but there is no logical order there, right? So that is the reason. Okay, we can say the country name as nominal. So any other doubts, guys? So that's the end of
This
our class.
conference is no longer being recorded.
Today, I have uploaded the document about the today's work in Google Drive. So please check that. Write the answers. I'll just show you. The link is present in the group description. You can access the drive link. So I'm just showing you. So I'll just show you where to access the document. Okay. One second, guys. I'll just show you. So there is some link I shared you for the data science document. Just open that link. In this, we can able to access the folder here, data science assignments. So in this, so if you open this folder, you can access your assignment. Okay. I'm just opening this. One second. Yeah. So this is the document, guys. So this is a statistics assignment. So this is the document. You download this. So you have to choose the correct answer. So try to answer the everything and just post it in the WhatsApp group. Okay. So the people can judge your answers, and at last I'll tell you the answers and what are the correct answers, why the reason and all that stuff. Okay. So just try to do that and post it in the group. Okay. So that's the access for that document. So that's the end of our class. Any doubts in the today's class? You can ask me now. Otherwise, you can leave. Thank you for attending, guys. Have a good day. Bye. Good night. Hello.